Hi, how's it going there? Today I'm going to do the featured lesson on inverted minors. Now, inverted minors is a convention that the vast majority of expert players, now there's a few different varieties of how you can play it, and I'll just explain a couple of different things and then some of the extensions of what you can play over it. The general premises of it is that when partner opens one of a minor, you want a way to be able to show a strong raise in a minor and also your weak raise. Now, if you just have normal raises and have one club past 3 clubs as 10 to 12 and one club past 2 clubs as 6 to 9, what do you do with like the 13 plus hand? You don't want to bypass 3 no trumps. You want to show you got a fit, so it's kind of tough about how you want to actually show this hand. So the way inverted minors is if you think as a natural bid that one club past 2 clubs would be 6 to 9 and one club past 3 clubs is 10 to 12, they're basically just swapping these meanings. Now what they actually mean is one club past 3 clubs is now the weak bid and one club past 2 clubs is now the strong bid. So they've now just swapped those meanings over. Now it's a little more than that. There's a few different things you can do as well. Obviously one diamond's exactly the same as clubs. Okay, so here if you're just playing very basic inverted minors, one club past 3 clubs would be 6 to 9, and one club past 2 clubs is now 10 plus, not just 10 to 12. So here you've now solved the issue of what do you do with the really strong hands. With 13, 15, whatever you've got, you can now show your fit by bidding the inverted minor of 1 minor past 2 minor. I have 10 plus points and a fit. Where do I want to go from there? Okay, so what it does is it allows you to investigate slam, show fits early, and if you know all the continuations, you might be able to get to 3 no trumps when it's right and stay out of it when you don't have stoppers. Stop in 3 of a minor when you're just minimum invites, and investigate good slams. Typically you might be able to show shortage and things like that later afterwards to find good slams, see if your points are working. And also you don't need to bypass 3 no trumps or just jump to 3 no trumps straight away. So it's quite an effective technique of raises. Now, the way I like to play inverted minors is slightly different. What I like is something called crisscross inverted minors. And not everyone does this, but what I like is a jump to the other minor to be a raise as well. So here one club past 2 diamonds. I don't want that just to be like weak with diamonds or anything, or a splinter in diamonds, whatever you have. I like this to be a club raise. And similarly, 1 diamond past 3 clubs to also be a diamond raise, so a jump in the other minor. So now, doing crisscross inverted, you can get 3 types of raises. You've got the 1 minor 2 minor, the 1 minor 3 minor, and also the jump in the other minor. So we've got 3 different point ranges we can use. Now it depends on partnership agreement what you want these ranges to be. Some people do, it largely depends on what range your 1 minor 2 minor is. So if you have 1 minor 2 minor as just 10 plus, what it typically is jumping to the other minor is just sort of your invite, so sort of like 7 to 9 sort of range, like a good raise to the other minor. And then you can have just 1 mana jump to 3 mana, really preemptive, sort of like 3 to 6 points, might be varying on vulnerability, and really get in their way. An alternative way, which some people do, is they have the 1 mana pass 2 mana as just game forcing, and then have the 1 mana jump in the other suit as sort of 8 to 11, so semi-invitational, and 1 mana 3 mana as sort of 3 to 7, so again pretty weak. But so it depends on what your partnership wants to agree. So there's a few different options. Today I'll just discuss the options where 1 mana pass 2 mana is just 10 plus points. 1 mana pass jump in the other mana is sort of 7 to 9, possibly a bad 10 if you don't like it. And 1 mana pass 3 mana is just sort of 3 to 6, quite weak, gets in their way. Okay, so before you just lash in and agree to do any convention, you want to work out what are you actually giving up by playing the convention. Okay, so by inverting the minors, what you're giving up is the ability to play in 2 mana. That's one of the things, because now 1 mana past 2 mana is forcing, so you can't drop it. But if you think, what hands do we actually get to play in 2 mana when we've got a fit in a mana? It's pretty rare. The opponents would most likely balance and bid to 2 of a major, and then you'd have to get in there and bid 3 mana anyway. The times that you stop in 2 mana when you've got a fit with just 1 mana past 2 mana are practically non-existent. Okay. Now let's look at this crisscross. This you might be giving up a little bit more because you could use the jump to mean something else. But what do you actually use that jump for, and how often does it come up? Is a couple of questions that you want to use. 1 club past 2 diamonds. Whether you use that as a weak with diamonds, that probably doesn't come up too often. And if you use it as a splinter, it probably comes up even less. And 1 diamond past 3 clubs, again, what do you use it for? You might come up with a good reason for something like that. Depends if you want to give that up. I find that I don't really use that bid very much. The final option is that you give the opponents a chance to double an artificial bid, which is you're giving them something that they can do pretty risk-free. Most people don't really take that up. And for the most part, I like it just for the extra ranges you can have, and now also gaining your preemptive bid. I really like 1 mana past 3 mana to be quite weak and really tough for the opponents to get in the way and know what they should be doing over that. They are sort of left without options to a bit much. They can double, or they basically have to guess what they want to do. Okay. So this is the structure I suggest for this lesson. There are a few different ones you can use after it. So 1 mana past 3 mana, just sort of like 3 to 6 points. Partner, don't really go on, but I got a good fit for you. Maybe we want to sacrifice or just take away space or whatever. 1 mana pass jump in the other mana is like a good raise that's less than an invite, so 7 to 9, possibly a bad 10. And then 1 mana, 2 mana is your 10 plus. Let's go investigate game or slam. We might stay out of game as well. Okay, so this is the rough structure that I'd like to use. Next we need to know, what do we do after this? Now, after the 1 mana pass 3 mana, you generally pass or just raise the suit. Like every now and then bid 3 no. 1 mana pass jump in the other mana, you choose whether to bid 3 no or not. The real not complicated, but the extensions of what you can do after 1 mana, 2 mana, this is where you need to discuss with your partnership. Okay, so firstly, there's a few things, a few other options you want to discuss. If you go through the inverted minor, you shouldn't have a 4-card major. You've denied a 4 card major because we care about our major suits fits more. So you'd only bid the 1 minor, 2 minor if you didn't have a fit. And you'll usually have 5 card support because just assuming you're playing better minor. If you're playing short club, you can do it with 4 card diamond suits and 5 card club suits, that's okay. But you'll usually have 5 card support, but if you're really quite strong, you can do it on 4. So here's a few example hands of good hands to do inverted minors on. Okay, so here 1 diamond pass. We've got 13 points, we've got 5 card support, so we can just bid 2 diamonds. This is just your typical standard hand. If you didn't do this, if you didn't do inverted minors, maybe you'd have to jump to 3 no trumps because you're too strong to bid 3 diamonds. You don't really want to make up any suits, so there's a good option of just showing why inverted minors is pretty useful. Another example hand is this one. Partner opens 1 diamond. Here we don't have a fit, we got 6 diamonds. Now we do have a singleton spade, so some people will play splinters. Now what I like to do is if you jump to 3 spades, so what people use two major for might be just sort of a weak 2 sort of bid, so a minor pass 2 major. Frequently is just sort of quite a weak hand, usually about 3 to 6, 3 to 7, long 6 card suit, something like a bad weak 2. You might do something else, that's okay. But here, a minor pass 3 spades, the vast majority of people will play that as a splinter, agreeing the diamond suit. Now, to do a splinter, it's recommended that you should probably have about 15 or more points to splinter at 3 spades, just so partner really knows should they choose 3 no trumps or should they go looking for slam if they know your points are a bit higher. Here we've got a singleton spade as well, but through the inverted minor process you might be able to show you a singleton later. So here there's another good hand just to bid 2 diamonds. Another example hand, another perfect example. Here we're more balanced, and we're just minimum. We're only 11 points, but again, this is fine just to bid 2 diamonds. So here I'm just showing you a couple of examples that want to be bidding 1 diamond, 2 diamonds, and soon I'll show you some examples that aren't good. So here, this is another really good example where we've only got 4 card support, but we're really strong. So if you weren't playing inverted minors, what would you do with this hand? Some people might bid 2 clubs. Some people might just bid 4 no trumps. Either way, you're not going to get really detailed information about your hand. So the issue with 4 no trumps is you might be off 2 cashing hearts. And even if you get the response of how many key cards you've got, or aces, you don't know whether to play in diamonds or no trumpets. So it's better to take this option slower and find out more about partner's hand, and then be able to choose the right slam later. So even with this really strong hand, we still want to bid 2 diamonds. Okay. If anyone's got any questions, just feel free to log into Twitch and post them to me. I'm happy to go over something. Okay. Here's some examples of some hands that don't want to go through inverted minors. So here we do have 10 plus points, we have a fit, but what was important is inverted minors denies a 4 card major. So here it's more important to show our spades first and just bid that. And on this hand, as I mentioned before, you can splinter sometimes, but you want to be quite strong. So this hand is has a singleton spade and is too strong for the inverted minors. So here I would just jump to 3 spades, and the way I like to play this is 15 plus points with a shortage in spades. Okay, so there are some example hands of when you should do inverted minors and some when you shouldn't. Okay. So I've covered some of your different bids, such as 1 minor, 3 minor, 1 minor, jump in the other minor, and 1 minor, 2 minor, what they show, and some hands that want to go through the 2 minor bid and some that don't. Okay. So we've looked at some hands that do want to do it and some that don't. Now I'll just talk about the continuations of what happens after you do 1 minor, 2 minor. Okay. So if you're playing inverted minors as just 10 plus points, I like to be able to say that you can only possibly stop in 3 of a minor. Like some people choose to say you can stop in 2 no trumps or 3 of a minor. 2 no trumps isn't really a great spot to play ever, and I've found quite a natural way of playing this, which just allows you to only play in 3 of a minor if you want to stop there. Okay. So firstly, if you're really minimum opposite this 2 diamond bid, just like flat 12 points, dead minimum unbalanced or something like that, you just want to bid 3 diamonds. This just says, partner, I am quite unbalanced. Well, no, not unbalanced, sorry. Just says I'm dead minimum. This is the weakest bid you have available after that. So that's what you can do. Alternatively, if you're a balanced hand, now you can only have 2 types of balanced ranges after you open a diamond, either a hand that was too weak to open a no trump or too strong to open a no trump. So the 1 no trump, the 2 no trump bid, we don't actually need to differentiate which range we are in just yet, because we can show that later. Okay, so what you can do is 2 no trumps here says, partner, I got the other suits stopped. Mainly I have the majors stopped, but you might have something in clubs as well. And I'm a balanced hand. Either I'm sort of 12 to 14, not a really bad 12, because what would we do with the really weak hand? We'd just go straight to 3 minor. So here this will just be, I've got either a good 12 to 14 points, or possibly 18, 19. Partner can't pass this bid. Okay, and it says I've got the majors stopped, might have clubs stopped. And I'll just discuss what partner does after this. Now, if they are just absolutely dead minimum, what they can do is go to 3 diamonds. This just says, partner, I'm really minimum. If you're just the weak no trump, consider passing. Okay. And there are alternative bids. If they bid, say, 3 of a suit here, what this can be is to say, hey partner, I had my splinter, I had my shortage. So this would be, I have less than 15 points, I've got a singleton heart, do you want to play it? Now notice they can't actually have a heart suit because we've denied our 4-card major already. So partner, 3 hearts, partner, I've got a shortage in hearts, does that dissuade you from playing no trumps? Now also notice, when partner bids 2 no trumps, the responder no longer cares about whether they've got stoppers in the majors anymore, because partner said they've got both stoppers. So when partner says they've got stoppers, you don't need to continue saying, like, do you have stoppers here or anything like that. So here, if responder bids anything after 2 no trumps, any new suit, it just says they've got a shortage. Going to 3 diamonds says they're dead minimum. 3 no trumps says, yeah, just happy to play in 3 no trumps. And other options is you could jump to the 4 level to say I'm interested in slam or something like that. Okay. Now, if you have the 18-19 that bid 2 no trumps, and partner said, yeah, I'm happy to play 3 no trumps, you can just bid 4 no trumps to say, yes, I was 18-19, because you know that you've got like 31 odd points, because partner's not minimum. Or if you really like diamonds, you could go to 4 diamonds, those sorts of things. If you were just the weak no trump, you'd just pass there. The other options here is what happens when you don't have all the suits stopped. So here, South has denied a 4-card major, so we're not really looking for 4 major suit fits here. But what you can do is just show where you got stoppers. So here, if you bid 2 hearts, it says, partner, I got a stopper in hearts. You know, you might have a stopper in spades as well, and just really be worried about the clubs. But you're just showing where your stoppers are. Or you could bid 2 spades, which would say, partner, I have stoppers in spades, but not hearts. I need you to find the heart stoppers. And by doing this, you can identify whether 3 no trumps is a sensible spot. Now, occasionally, opener will have a hand with, say, 5 major and 6 minor and open to minor. Now, partner bid inverted minors, and you still might want to play in your 5-card major. So, to do this, you start by bidding your other suit. And if partner does anything, all you do is just rebid your suit. And now this will promise that extra shape. When you bid 2 spades, or when you bid a new suit here, it doesn't promise extra length in that. But just says, yeah, I've got stoppers here. You might have a 4-card suit, you might have 3, you might even have just like ace, queen, doubleton or something. But that's how you can investigate stoppers. Okay, now what do you do if you find out you don't have stoppers in a suit? Sometimes you might choose to play in a 4-3 fit. So here, if you bid 2 spades, I guess pass. And now partner partner says they don't have stoppers in hearts, so what should you do? If you've got some good spades as well, you can possibly tell partner, hey, I'm interested in spades. I've got a 3-card spade suit. Do you want to play in a 4-3 fit? So this is another possibility. It opens up playing in 4-3 fits as well. Okay, so we've covered what opener does with a balanced hand with stoppers, and also what they do if they've got either a balanced or unbalanced hand with only stoppers in certain suits. What does opener do now if they've got a shortage somewhere? Here, what they can do is they can jump to, if they jump to the 3 level, what it can be is they've got a singleton. So here, opener can also make splinters. Say, partner, I'm an unbalanced hand with a singleton. Now, just like the responder did, if they jump to the 3 level straight away, so a diamond past 3 hearts, that was 15 plus. Also like the opener's bid here to also be 15 plus. Definitely game forcing and happy to definitely game forcing 15 plus with a singleton. And that really helps you slam bidding if you know the point range is kind of like that. So we can bid splinters straight away like that. But what do you do if you've got an unbalanced hand with a singleton as opener with less than 15? What you can do is start by rounding out your shape. You can bid 2 spades, saying, yeah, I've got stopper and spades. Partner bids 2 no. Now if you bid 3 clubs, this is just sort of rounding out your shape and then saying, partner, I got diamonds, I got spades, and I got clubs. So by inference, you've got a short heart. Now if you didn't have a shortage in hearts, you wouldn't bother talking about your stoppers anymore once partner said, yep, I got that covered. So here, this would show a shortage in hearts, but a weak one. So a minimum opening hand with a shortage in hearts. Okay. So there's some of the different ways that opener can show their point ranges and shape. Talk about stoppers and singletons and get their point ranges off. So if you play this continuation system, it's a little bit complicated what all the different things mean, but if you look at over it, most of the bids are really natural. They either show stoppers, or if you jump, they show shortages. Once people have shown stoppers, if you bid another suit, you're trying to imply where your shortage is. Okay, so that covers most of the continuations over the inverted minor. What do you do if the auction gets competitive? Okay, so you need to know if there's interference, what happens. So firstly, my general rule is that any system you have, in basically any spot, if the opponent's bid, that normal system is off. You might have a new convention that you play, but for the most part, your just general system has stopped, and you want to work out what else you can do. So here, if it just goes something like this, inverted minors is off. So basically what you revert to is just normal, where this would just be 6 to 9, and this would be a better fit. And if you had a strong hand, I'd play Q raises and be able to bid 2 spades and say, partner, I've got a strong hand. Probably with diamond support. Let's start investigating. Okay. So whenever the opponents bid a suit, the system's off. So you don't do inverted minors when they bid. Now, what about if they double? Now, this depends on partnership agreement. My general philosophy is I don't count double as interference, and I just keep the same system on. They haven't taken away any space from me, so we just keep playing the same system. I use this rule in pretty much all situations. So double, just ignore it, keep doing your usual thing. So here I'd play inverted minors on. Now, not every partnership does, but it's something to discuss with your partners. Does double count as interference? Do we still play system on? Okay. So that's covers most of what is got about inverted minors. Now, I've covered a lot in a short space of time. Does anyone have any questions or want me to go over anything? I'll just, for the people that missed it, I'll explain what the structure is. Again, the basic structure. So what I like to do is have 3 different raises of the minors. So here, 1 minor, 2 minor is your inverted minor. 10 plus points with the fit. I play crisscross, so what this means is if you jump in the other minor suit, so one diamond past 3 clubs, or 1 club past 2 diamonds is also a raise, and I like that to be sort of 7 to 9 points with a fit. And the third raise you've got is 1 minor past 3 minor. Just quite a weak preemptive, really get in their face, show them a lesson. Being about 3 to 6 points with a fit. Okay. Over the jump or the crisscross, everything's pretty natural. You just have to, you don't have a lot of investigating space, but you just choose what you want to do over that. Frequently sign off in 3 minor, sometimes might go to 3 no trump, so you've got quite a good hand. Okay, so that's what those raises are and the point range. Now if you do jump to 3 of a major, I like this to be 15 plus points with a singleton. And so these are, I have a diamond fit, a singleton, and more like not in the minimum range of 10 to 14 points for the inverted minor. So you can have 20 points for the inverted minor, but if you've got a shortage with a fit, you just want to show your shortage straight away and show that you're quite strong. So here's an example hand of what would 1 diamond past 3 spades would look like. Okay. Now, so that's what responders' first bids are straight away. If they do the inverted minor, openers' bids, they can show They can show stoppers in either hearts or spades. And this would say, I've got a stopper, there's a suit I'm worried about. If it goes like this, the suit you're worried about is hearts. But you just show where your stoppers are, and you might be able to deduce where you've got, if you're worried about a suit and don't want to get to a bad 3 no trumps. If you bid 3 minor, this just says I'm dead minimum for you. Balanced or unbalanced, really minimum. If consider just stopping here. We can stop in 3 minor. This is the only spot we can stop in. If you bid 2 no trumps, this says partner, I had a balanced hand. I'm either good 12 to 14 or 18, 19. I'll tell you a bit later which one I have. Okay, and if you jump to say 3 of a major, this says partner, I have a singleton and I'm not a minimum hand, so I got 15 plus points with a shortage in the major I jumped to. Because when you jump, you're not talking about stoppers anymore, you're now talking about where your shortage is. Okay, so there what openers bids are. After they bid show a stopper, it's all pretty easy after that. If they say that they're a balanced hand, and you have stoppers in both the majors, if you're worried about a suit in particular, you wouldn't bid 2 no trumps. This says, yep, we've got suits stop, don't worry about them. Here, it's now not up to responder to tell where their shortages are, so where their stoppers are, sorry. It's more about where you got shortages or if you got a good hand. So firstly, 3 diamonds would say partner, I'm really dead minimum. If you were in that 12 to 14 range, or especially 12, 13, really consider not bidding 3 no trumps. If they bid a new suit such as 3 hearts or 3 spades, this says I have a shortage here, so I've got a singleton heart. Do we still want to play 3 no trumps? And I've got my shortage here. Do you want to play 3 no trumps? And because I didn't jump to 3 hearts straight away, I'm in the 10 to 15 range. But sort of like 12 to 15. If you're 10 or 11 points, you'd be dead minimum and would have bid, and you would have bid 3 diamonds. So when you do bid 3 hearts or 3 spades here, you're now in the 12 to 15 range, and it's better like that. If you And if you're just happy to go to 3 no trumps, you can bid that. So let's say that you bid 3 diamonds. Now, because opener hasn't said whether they're 12 to 14 or 18, 19, firstly, you're just like 10, 11 points. Either way, they're not, with 18, 19, they're not interested in slam. This 3 no trump bid can either be like good 14 or 18 or 19. We don't need to tell the opponents which one we've got, but you're happy to go to game. But you won't be 12 or 13 points anymore. If instead partner doesn't bid 3 diamonds, but bids something like 3 no trumps, saying they're happy to go to game, with the 12 to 14 range, you've said you bid, so you just pass. But if you had 18, 19, you can go to 4 no trumps, which would just be a quantitative, you've got 18 or 19 points. So this is basically the whole structure of inverted minors. I've pretty much covered it. I've talked about a lot so far. Does anyone have any questions? Because other than that, I'm going to wrap it up a little bit early. So it's not too complicated. There's what you have to understand is what the different options are, how you can go about showing your hand, and what you're trying to achieve. Which hands are good for it and which ones aren't. I might just wrap it up there. Thanks all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll consider putting inverted minors into your system. And we'll see you next time.